Wait a minute, excuse me, Bill. Jan? Okay.
I'll make the motion to open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call. Concom,
Kurt Turner here.
Planning Board, Board of Selectmen,
Cliff Pierce here.
Open Space,
Sonia Nicola here.
Housing Authority,
Joe Perry here.
Recreation, Historic District, Frank Todd. Legal ads,
It was up on the website, and it was published. It was put on all the calendars.
okay.
I'm attempting to record again on the minutes from the last meeting to you, for you.
Tonight's meeting is videotape recording, and Kurt has a small device there that lets us know what he's doing.
I never know whether it works or not.
Karen, you got any bills to sign?
No.
No.
Are those minutes ready for tonight?
Yeah, those are the minutes from the 2 meetings ago. But the minutes from the last meeting,
You had emailed out.
I've emailed out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't print out a copy. I did notice in the last part where you referenced the dates of previous meetings where the boardwalk was mentioned. I think it was March twice.
Different years.
Oh, I'm not sure. Do you have a copy of the minutes?
I do.
I can pull it up on my phone, but
Yeah, I was amazed how far back we went on those things.
oh, you're right. Oh, sorry. You're right. Different years. I didn't catch that.
Because I remember seeing that myself. And saying, is that right? But good eyes, thank you.
Okay. I'll take a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. Fiercely have it. Fight. Even
We didn't care about that in design school. Just try and get your project done.
Okay. Well, we'll correct the roll call to include the planning board now. It's coming to that. No one. Okay. Our business tonight is 60 Pingree Farm Road. Install a 300-foot boardwalk. Oh, I've got quite a dissertation here. It came from Brent Bazelak, and he is into the bordering vegetated wetlands. He's into the groundwater protection area and the trail conditions from Boxford Road to State Forest Trail. And the thing is, I guess when they had horses going to use it, it was at $37,000. And now if it's just for people to walk on, it's $10,000 or $9,999 or something like that. Oh, guess who's here? Evening, Kurt.
Well, I certainly can speak, about the project. I mean, I think everybody at the table is familiar with the project, the CPC committee did, I guess in the spring or so, approve funding for the, to get plans drawn for it. So we had gone over the details of it then, but so I don't think I'll belabor it by starting from the beginning, but I can answer any questions people have.
Do you want to make a presentation on this?
Well, I was just saying, I think everybody's familiar with it, so I don't know if that's necessary, unless people feel...
I think it would be a
Okay.
good idea.
Sure.
Yeah, because it was,
Since
what,
we-
at
For the
least
folks, for the folks
probably
at
close to a
home.
year ago.
Okay. So, if you're familiar with the Pingree Farm Conservation Area, we sort of reference them as the eastern parcel and the western parcel that are divided by the Mill River that is impassable. And by the eastern parcel, there is a town-maintained parking area and kiosk off of Boxford Road. And when the Pingree Farm Conservation was purchased, it was part of the land management plan that a boardwalk be installed over the Mill River, and it has yet to be done. The Pingree Farm Conservation area also abuts the Georgetown Raleigh State Forest by Pingree Farm Road, and so parking is really prohibited on Pingree Farm Road, and so there really is no access to the Georgetown Raleigh State Forest from that area. So not only would this boardwalk connect the two parcels of land, it also would allow people to park on the in the town maintained parking lot on Boxford Road and walk through the Pingree Farm Conservation Land and then access the Georgetown Raleigh State Forest. The boardwalk has been, we have the drawings made up. DeRosa Environmental Consulting did a piece, and this has been presented and approved by the Conservation Commission. So at this point, the Open Space Committee is here in the fundraising stage.
Is this where the bridge is going across?
Yes.
To see the dotted line says trails.
Yes. So this is wetlands. I guess this is the Mill River. So yes, that's where the bridge would go.
So this is the same design you have?
Exactly.
depicted here? Is this the state, the one the state did that's upstream of this, or,
I think so.
yeah?
Conservation
Oh, yeah.
Commission fully supports this project.
The
Where's the bridge on that map?
It would be, this is the trail, this dotted line.
Oh, okay,
So I'm assuming that goes across here.
okay.
There's Haverhill Street, and there's Boxford
Yep.
Road. And and then you go over to Pingree Farm Road, and this comes from the so-called, the old Morgan Farm on Boxford Road and through.
Thank you.
And then, yes, so regarding the budget, the Open Space Committee is requesting $9,700, of which $2,400 of that would go towards project management and supervision of construction. $2,000 would be for 2 paid laborers, and the remaining labor would be volunteers, 4 to 8 volunteers over a 4-day period to construct the boardwalk. Materials at $4,800, a generator rental, rubbish removal,
and then some signage to indicate the contributors to the boardwalk, which could be the CPC committee.
You say this is ADA compliant. I mean, who made that determination? Was that Weatherall Design? Just wondering, so what does that mean? That you can get across on a wheelchair, you know? Yeah.
Might not be able to get to the walkway.
I guess it, like, technically, it didn't need to be ADA compliant because there is a trail, you could technically get out there. It's a level trail, not one with elevation, but I don't think you could get out there in a standard wheelchair. But I know they have some sort of off-road ones
Right.
these days.
But presumably, all new work, it's public work, is ADA compliant.
Weatherall supervised the construction of the earlier one that was
exactly.
in place, so we've got an expert here
Yeah, okay.
overseeing the whole thing.
The construction is supposed to start in June.
I mean, it's depending on funding, but we were hoping to be able to do it in the spring.
Just watch the bug season.
Oh,
Your labor costs are gonna go up.
It's all year
Bug season.
what kind of timber?
Southern yellow
Pressure
pine.
treated, or
It's good.
The two-needle pine?
And yellow, southern yellow,
It's two-needle.
yeah.
Well, I
And the
thought I'd
decking
make
is,
a point.
Only experts would know how many needles there are in southern pines. I know there's
By the
5 in
time-
white pine
by
and
the
there's
time
3 in
it-
scotch pine, but I never knew
the
that.
time it gets to be going into this, there are no needles. It's got a little yellow tinge to it.
When we built Heritage Plantation down in Sandwich there, Eli Lilly money, and all the big timbers for the round barn and the other buildings all came out of when they were tearing down the Manchester Mills, and all the timbers was southern yellow pine. It's a very hard pine. It's not a soft pine like a white pine or
It's good.
Austrian or any of the rest of them.
It's good for flooring.
Okay.
I like it. I think this is a,
So all the timbers are going to be of southern yellow pine?
I don't know that level.
the 4x4.
That's-
Well, I mean, I look at a white pine, you know, it'd be rotten in 5 years.
Well, so I guess that's a great point. My assumption would be that Bob Weatherall would be, actually, no, that's not true. I would have to get guidance from him of what.
Well, the plan says
It says the boardwalk is proposed.
southern yellow
Constructed
pine.
out of.
Pressure-treated wood.
And that's environmentally appropriate pressure-treated wood, too.
I think that's probably all that they sell right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
Okay. Questions?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no, I think
And
it's a great project.
minimalist design, I mean, that's the least interruption you could possibly have
Yeah.
in the wetlands.
No more questions? Karen?
Was there any consideration for like cement board or something that may take it a little bit longer future-wise, or is the cost just too prohibitive?
I don't know if that was considered. I mean, I think, this is, Bob has done a lot of these boardwalks, and I think this is generally how he does it. I don't know if that was considered or not.
Yeah, I'm just curious,
The co-
I know at Cranes Beach,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of their walkways, they've replaced all with cement board because.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's more weather factors involved
Sure.
in that situation, so.
it is a lot more
Not-
Yeah,
expensive.
it is. It's
Right.
probably twice as expensive for the planking,
Well, how about
and the fasting's a little more
the
difficult.
timbers that are sunk into the soil? What's going to support it? That's the part I'd worry about.
It's treated.
You figure that's all
It
treated?
says it's treated, yeah.
Okay. And the planking is treated treated also?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
And treated wood that is wet should last a long time, if it stays wet,
Underwater or above water?
underwater, or in the damp soil. When it gets wet and dried out, it's gonna
Okay.
last longer than you, Frank.
Is that a hope?
I'll up it, it's gonna last longer than me. So, you got 25 years.
How about all of us?
All of us together, yeah.
Okay,
Can tell I've been
Then,
locked up all day.
so it's less than $10,000. And the 37,000 that I picked up somewhere along the line is, was for horses, right?
Yeah, that was early on in the project, so I don't know, some of the numbers have been kind of drilled down since then, and then, yes, that was one to support horses, but that, feature has been,
Dropped.
yes.
Okay, then I'll accept a motion.
I make a motion, we approve this as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think I should abstain, or do I vote?
No, you can vote.
Okay, aye.
Say from the lawyer.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
With the understanding
It's
that
'cause it's your
any
idea, it
excess
doesn't mean-
monies be returned to the committee.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Okay,
Next.
But
Next
just to
thing.
be clear,
Does
though,
this need to go before?
town meeting.
Town meeting.
Yeah.
Selectmen, and then town meeting, right?
Yeah, that'll be in May.
Okay,
Well, April 30th.
yeah.
okay, so, but it does need to go before the selectmen, okay.
And town meeting.
Yeah, town meeting.
Town meeting, okay,
And
but you said,
that's the, sort of the longest delay.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Great.
So when town meeting happens, bring your friends.
And Quaker meeting has begun.
I don't see any problem with town
No, I
meeting.
don't either.
I would think not.
Okay, anything new on the Mahaffey Farm?
No.
Nothing. How about the town hall annex, the elevator?
No.
Nothing.
Could I say something about that?
Sure.
At the Finance Committee meeting a few nights ago, we were told that Didek property is being offered to the town,
Sure.
the building, and we approved $2,500 for the study of that, and they said that if that is approved, a number of the town hall committees would be town committees would be moving into that building, and it would probably eliminate the need for the annex. Have you folks,
Well, for the annex elevator.
the annex elevator?
Annex
That's
elevator.
correct.
Might talk
That's
about that.
Where is the Didek property?
It's on
Donald Kent's
395
old
Main
printing
Street.
press.
Just past,
Raleigh
Valley
Press,
Printing.
Raleigh Printing, down in 1A.
just past Railroad Avenue on the right, in the back.
They offered the building to the town.
But it's related to some other issues, I would believe, right?
Well, they have a development plan
Plan,
in the
and
backland there. so,
Yeah.
to
So we
own.
approved the,
that's the Kents.
the amount of
Huh?
money for
That's the Kents in
them to
back.
assess the property, for the town.
No, it's also
to
this.
Assess the property.
There's a back parcel behind
It
the
belongs
Dydex
to,
building.
yeah.
Belongs to the owner of the Dydex
I don't
building.
know what the condition of the building is.
Building's in pretty,
Looks
pretty,
pretty
Yeah, they
good.
wanted
pretty
to
good condition. I
build
want to,
something in
Yeah.
there that connected
Very
through to
good
the railroad.
Yeah.
Lots of office space at the ground level and in the back, which is the lower level. It has enough warehouse space,
Okay,
very large warehouse space.
Great.
and we should try and get enough land around it to
For parking.
parking and maybe future uses.
is that level land or is it hilly?
It's got some issues, but
Okay,
as an architect, I don't worry about those kind of issues unless it goes like that.
yeah, okay.
No, it's pretty level back there.
Yeah.
Right down Railroad Avenue, it's the same
So,
thing.
yeah.
I would note that
That's good news.
the Grange Hall folks came before us several times over the years to see about the town acquiring that with funds from the CPA, and then got bogged down and all sorts of things, but that's 2 doors down from the
Right.
town hall annex, and if you needed more ground level space, the town might want to look at, acquiring that as well, but,
Yeah, but this is not an acquisition, this is a donation to the town.
right, I understand.
It's a much more modern building, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say in place of that, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that if the town needs supplemental, because you can't access the top floor of the annex anymore.
You know, the Grange building
Yeah.
and the house next to it going towards town
Mhm.
was the old schoolhouse.
Right.
Yep.
Remember that.
And it's the one George King wrote the poem on. And
You going to recite it? I bet you know the first two
It's a
lines.
short poem.
Let's stay focused on,
2 hours later, he's
David's hungry.
I am. I got one more piece of candy in my pocket.
gets
but
mean when
that's
he's
it.
hungry.
Okay.
Do you want to say something about all those wonderful photographs that Paul took?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's down here. Paul,
Yes, sir.
I brought in most,
Made 8x10s out of them.
What did you end up submitting, Karen?
I haven't submitted yet because I need to
Okay,
put
very
together
good.
literally like 2 sentences of each.
let's see, when they run them through the
which
computer,
is
they,
not as
they kind of
easy
bend and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these are archival.
12
Yeah,
And I
paragraphs. So,
buy these books down in Beverly,
okay.
right across from the North Beverly train station. There's a big, long building, right, and you go down in back underneath.
Art
And
wholesale.
there's an art wholesale.
Okay.
I have to go there tomorrow and send.
I wasn't sure exactly what you needed, so I took some of, just like the land, and then I took the buildings on the property, and if you submit whatever you want. Joe, I don't know if you recall, is that picture of the town hall in
I don't
here?
have the town
You
hall in
don't?
here. I got the common.
I made a comment that a piece of the trim is missing from
Up on
the
the
cupola.
Oh,
And I can see where that faces due north, where a nor'easter, any driving rain or anything can get, I think, in there
In there.
and then work its way down the column. It's on the right-hand side facing Town Hall, not the Town Hall.
I was gonna suggest take a picture from the other side,
I did include a picture
from the backside of the cupola.
I did. I provided.
Because weren't there wires in the front?
I was able to eliminate some of them with my computer software. Not all of them.
That's good.
Photoshop.
yeah, we'll take a look.
Yeah, I think that would be a problem because I just did all that restoration
Yeah.
work not too long ago, and I can see like in driving rain, water getting in because it's a protective piece. It's right above the column on the right if you're standing across the street.
Okay.
Well, we thank you for the pictures.
Yes,
Very welcome, I was happy to
did a
do it.
nice job.
And
Thank you.
I gave a copy of all the ones on the common to Steve Harrison. I put the plan together and he drew it up,
Okay.
and he had signified all the plants on the trees.
It was a great time of year too with the color, the foliage, it adds to the beauty of the town. If you need more photos on other projects in the future, just let me know, I'd be happy to take some.
You might take a picture of the 2 American elms in front of the VFW up there. Those are the only 2 American elms I can think of in Raleigh now.
Are they bare now, or does it?
They're
Yeah,
bare,
Yeah.
Wait till they have foliage on.
but they are alive.
Okay,
You can't
Yeah.
tell that in the wintertime.
right.
Well,
I've been to Castine and Maine.
Castine, Maine, they inoculate them every
Yeah.
year.
Yep.
And
Beautiful.
I know out in Ames, Iowa, they inoculate them every year. But when I was going to school in Iowa, what happened was I'd drive out in the September, and every year, another town west would have a lot of dead trees.
I
And
remember when I was a kid growing up in Salem, it was full of elm trees, and it was beautiful, like a canopy over the trees. And then they started really dying off fast.
Yeah.
It's really a shame, such beautiful trees.
You know, it's funny, the Dutch elm itself doesn't get the bug.
Really? I didn't know that.
The Chinese elm doesn't get it either. or the Siberian elm. Those are the ones that don't get it. But the American elm was susceptible.
When was the fad of planting elm trees?
The middle 1800s.
Tail end of Greek revival.
Yeah,
And it just took off, didn't it?
yeah.
Nothing else.
When
got
I was a
going.
kid, long ago, the Rowley had a lot of elm trees. There's an old picture of the Rowley Common of the big elm that was on this end at the 200th anniversary. And it showed it. And they were having a meal on the Common. And so that would be 1839,
It's early.
once upon a time.
Frank was there. No, you weren't. That's how he knows all this stuff.
Well, yeah.
Karen, CPA money still invested in the municipal bond fund?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions tonight?
If you look on the financials, the state match came through
Yes.
Yeah,
yesterday.
$1.21 we got.
Yeah. And
But-
there's also a chart in your notes that shows all of the previous years, the surcharge and the fund distribution along with the percentages.
Yep.
I can't remember what our discussion was last time. Is 29 more than we were assuming?
No, so when we do the article for town meeting, they tell us to estimate between 18 and 20%. We've always estimated at 20. We were fortunate enough to have 29%.
Yeah, okay.
So,
We've been
But there-
lucky.
And that,
yes, but there's
that's for all
there's
three,
several
or
towns.
whatever the,
Yes, that's for all three distributions, and but several towns and cities have now adopted CPA.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
So they're,
Well, Boston and Springfield have just jumped on the bandwagon.
and I believe Marblehead went on 2 years ago. so
Salem went
they
on a
have
couple
several
years ago.
projects as well.
Yeah, so it keeps reducing
yeah.
what we get.
Well, I think the important thing to keep our eye on is that this table that Karen very nicely put together shows that the amount of money that we got from the state that in the matches over the years has amounted to $3.2 million, money we would never have had otherwise to do all these things that, this committee has been doing.
Right.
I think something else that would be interesting to do would be to look at there's three, if you're at 3%, there are three levels of funds matching. And those cities and towns that are at 1% don't get the second and the third tranches. And that's extra money that's all part of this $3.2 million. And I think the town should feel good about the fact that we elected to go with the 3% originally because it's resulted in more money than we would otherwise have.
Yeah, that's good.
In fact, Stuart Saganauer sent out an email yesterday, and I think the initial match was, 17%? And so the second and third tranche gained us another 12% or so.
Yeah, and this other thing that I passed out, the second tranche gave us an additional $32,000, and the third tranche gave us an additional $19,000.
Okay.
I think Boston's only in for 1%.
Yeah. I think so.
You know what Kurt's motto is? Show me the money.
Some of these towns that have refused to join have really hurt themselves.
Yes, they have, yeah.
Yep.
No,
That's your copy.
Oh, thank you. Oh, good.
And the other, these numbers are actually, it says that it's through October, but they are through November because the purchase of the Glen land is now been finalized, that was done, so this reflects that as well. So,
very good. Do we have any more questions?
Do we have minutes to approve?
All done.
Well done, I missed it.
Just barely missed it.
Stole the fun.
Do you have any corrections?
The only other thing
Too late.
is, I did look at the state CPC website. I wasn't able to drill down the financially what the town has spent most on. I was able to look at it per numbers. I think we could all guess that probably financially we've spent the most on open space with the acquisition of the various projects. So a project can be categorized in 2 different categories. So there may be duplication here, but the town has done 12 open space projects, 5 housing projects, 28 historic, and 6 recreation. So, we were talking last time about
Spreading it.
spreading the wealth. So, which is, housing and recreation are 2 areas that have had the least amount, and historic has overwhelmingly had the most projects approved.
The Brad Street project covered all 4 of those
Yeah.
categories.
Right.
I think it was the first in the state to do so, what they said at the time.
But there's something to be said for the small projects too, because they get as much visual or publicity as the big projects
Right.
do.
Right. I don't think you use this to say we're not going to do any more historic, but I think it just is, informs decision. It's just information going forward to see where the money's gone.
I know members of the Board of Selectmen have supported the idea that we do more for recreation. That we're losing a couple of fields because of the Pine Grove renovation, but with the addition of the Wynn property, that'll help with, get field ready, so that hopefully we won't lose too much until the renovation is completed in 19.
We were hampered in part, on our last big project, or 2 projects ago, by the decision that said you couldn't spend CPA money on recreation projects that were not on CPA purchased land. And that has since been revised. And so, for instance, I didn't forget what year it was, but probably 2003, 2004, there was a big project at Iris Field, and part of it was a walking track, and that got canceled because that had the issue of Iris Field not being purchased by CPA funds.
Of course, we're losing the field across from the diner
That's right. That's
because
right.
it's too close to the
Right.
ball field.
Yeah.
And you know that the projects that we support somehow help the private market too, but you can't prove exactly how it does it, I mean, the changes in the downtown since I've moved here are pretty good, It's mostly private money. When you talk about the hotel, motel, whatever it is,
Holiday Inn.
not a Holiday Inn.
This is a hotel, motel, holiday.
And the daycare center and the buildings across the street here, it's been good.
I had a thought one day, I don't know whether it's accurate or not, but all the money we spend on the cemetery fence, I think I saw that the cemetery sign looks kind of dilapidated. Maybe we should support getting a new one, but I'm not sure.
You mean the middle one out by the road?
Yeah,
That's a state thing. That was a tercentenary.
so maybe we should have it redone.
Oh,
State won't do it.
There was a big article in the Boston Globe maybe 2 or 3 years ago on the old signs. Got the wrought iron ones.
That's a small project
Yeah.
and visible.
Yeah. The, okay, our next meeting, when would you like another meeting? Quaker meeting.
We need a spring meeting, I would assume.
We need some, the last year was in March. March, I think.
Good memory.
Or
At least prior to
this year, I mean, back in
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
March. And we always try to have it far enough in front of the town meeting so that
That's right,
we can,
get the warrants.
Yeah, it should be
So the
around the
second
first couple of weeks of March.
The second week of March is March 8th.
That's a Thursday night?
Yep.
Okay.
I won't be there. I can't make
You going on vacation again?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
As much as I can.
We'll cover for you.
Plan happy you're out.
March 8th?
March 8th. Here?
Yep.
Yes.
You like it here?
In the morning, or Monday.
5:30?
Good for me.
That was 5:30 in the morning, was it? Okay,
Frank's,
Motion to adjourn?
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
second.
Aye.
Aye.
Good meeting.